During the time of Christ, Jesus went all around and chose different men in different situations and certainly different occupations. We had Levi, who was a tax collector, and some of the other apostles that were fishermen. But it is interesting, I think, to just notice that he chose men. It's tough for the Western mind in the culture in which we live because we often see everything through the optic of equality. The problem with that is that's a good thing, and God made men and women equal. But the problem is we often tend to think that we're equal to the degree that we can do the same thing. I don't have a vocation as a mother, thanks be to God. I wouldn't make a very good one. But I'm still equal to moms. And so it is interesting that Jesus chose only men, not because men are worth more, but because the priesthood, even before Jesus Christ was ever born, was only male. And so the priests are not here to be served, as Jesus says many times, the Son of Man did not come to be served, but to serve. No, the priests are servants. Even maybe if sometimes in their humanity they forget this, that our vocation is one of service. And priests wear black, among other reasons, because it reminds us that we've died to ourselves, that my life is not for me. And kind of like a wedding ring, it reminds the couple that they now live for somebody else. So this reminds me, this color, that my life, I've died to myself and that I live for others. It's interesting that Pope Gregory often used to say, Gregory the Great, he used to call himself Servus Servorum Dei, the servant of the servants of God. Of the servants of God, of the people, that I'm their servant. So it's not like the Pope is a monarch and we're here bowing before him. No. So Pope Francis has said that same thing. We're servants. But nonetheless, the priesthood is reserved to men alone. We can't change that. We don't have authority to change that. It's an infallible doctrine. In 1994, John Paul II wrote a little bitty document called Ordinatio Sacerdotalis. And he said that we don't have the authority to change this. Even if we wanted to, we can. In 1975, Pope Paul VI in Inter Inseniores, he said the exact same thing. He said, we can't change this. So while there are Christian denominations that have female leaders, we have many leaders that are female as well in the Catholic Church. We don't have any females that hold a clerical position. And people say, what about deaconesses? Didn't we have deaconesses? We had women leaders in the early church that would help with baptism, because they did the full body immersion baptism back then, but they never held a clerical office. And so even if we wanted to change this, we can't. But it's important to remember, as John Paul II says, that God's highest creation was a woman, the mother of God, that she's the Immaculate Conception, that the church herself is feminine. And this is why a priest is celibate, that my life is given to my bride, who's the Holy Mother Church. And so this gives us great joy. We remember that even though we are different, we're also equal as well.